This video is going to be a quick review of linear systems, so you should follow along and take notes. First of all is we learned three methods for solving systems of equations. This is what a system of equation looks like. It's two equations and they both have two variables. And the first method is solving by graphing. So remember, when we're graphing, we start with the y-intercept. This has a y-intercept of 1, so our first point goes at 1. This has a slope, remember if you're missing a run, add a 1, of 2 over 1. So we're going to rise 2 and run 1. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Put a few points. If you need some points on the other side, do the opposite. Go down 2 and to the left 1. Down 2 and to the left 1. I'm going to go fast in this video because it is review. If you need more review, you should rewatch the video and go a little slower. This one has a y-intercept at 4, so your first point goes on the y-axis at 4. This one has that invisible slope of negative 1 over 1, so we're going to go down 1 over 1. So from that point, down 1 over 1. Oh, look at that. I already see my solution. So the solution is the point that is on both lines, or the point that is common to both lines, which is that point right there. So this solution is x is 1 and y is 3. Remember, your solutions in Chapter 5 will always be a coordinate point. The next method that we learned was substitution. When you have your system of equations and one of your variables is all by itself on one side of the equal sign, that is when you want to use substitution. So this equation states that x is equal to 2y plus 1. Remember, we wanted to circle everything that the variable that was all alone was equal to. Find an x in the other equation, wrap it up in parentheses, and you're going to do this substitution. So everything that you circled is going to go right in there. Our new equation will have only one variable. This is the substitution part. When I write this equation, I'm going to throw out the x, and in its place, I'm going to put the 2y plus 1. Make sure you're using this strategy. Then keep copying this equation. Plus y equals 7. This is an equation with just y values, so we're going to solve for y. We have parentheses, but in front of the parentheses we don't have anything to distribute. So then we can simply rewrite this without parentheses. We have like terms on the left side of the equal sign. 2y plus y is 3y. Copy your plus 1, copy your equals 7. Trying to get y by itself, undo addition and subtraction first by subtracting 1 from both sides. 7 minus 1 is 6. Undo multiplication by dividing both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1y equals 6 divided by 3 is 2. Remember, that's half of my answer because my answer is a full coordinate point. I now know that y is 2. I need to find x. This equation right here is a great one to use to find x. So your next step is find x. So we're going to take this equation, x equals 2y plus 1. We're going to do another substitution where the y is, wrap up your y, we're going to throw out the y and replace it with 2 because we already determined that the value of y is 2. So we're going to get x equals 2, parenthesis, throw out the y, put in a 2, plus 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So x equals 5. That's the rest of your solution. Remember, your answer should be a coordinate point. So you do have the answers to these on the back. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, the last method that we learned was elimination. Okay, so for elimination, we were looking for those opposite coefficients in front of our variables. So here's x. The opposite of 3 is negative 3. So the x does not have opposite coefficients. Just a refresher, these two numbers are opposites, 3 and negative 3, 1 and negative 1, 2 and negative 2. We're looking for those opposites to be a coefficient on the same variable. So 3 and 2 are not opposites. 2 and 2 are not opposites. So we call these our yellow light problems. We have to change one of these equations to make opposites. There's different ways to make opposites, and some students choose different methods. What I would choose for this one is I would choose to make opposites right here on the y variable, because if I simply multiply one of my equations, I'm going to choose the second one, by a negative, this will become negative 2, and positive 2 and negative 2 are the opposites. So remember, when you decide what you're going to multiply by, you need to multiply it in 3 places. So don't forget to write these distribute arrows in 3 places. So this top equation I'm just going to copy. I did not change that one at all. After I distribute this negative 1 times 2x will be negative 2x. Negative 1 times 2y will be negative 2y, equals 10 times negative 1 will be negative 10. Now you can see right here I have opposites. Now this is a green light problem. We can go ahead and turn it into our giant addition problem and add down the columns. Copy your equal sign down here. 3x minus 2x, those are like terms. If you have 3 x's and you give 2 away, you have 1x. 2y, positive 2, minus 2y is 0y. 0 times y is 0. So this is where the elimination happens. Those are opposite coefficients, so the y variable is eliminated. 12 minus 10 is 2. So I now know that x equals 2. Remember, for my solution, I need an x and a y. So I need to find a y now. So find y. We know x equals 2. You can go to either of these equations to find y. I'm just going to choose the top one. If you chose the bottom one, you would get the same answer. I'm going to do a substitution. I'm going to throw out this x and replace it with a 2, or substitute a 2. So wrap up the x, throw out the x, substitute in that 2, copy the rest of the problem, and now we're going to solve for y. Let's do this first. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2y equals 12. Want to get y alone, undo addition or subtraction first. The 6 is added. This is a positive 6, so minus 6 from both sides. 2y equals 12 minus 6 is 6. Divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so those 1 out, and I get y equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. So y equals 3. So that is the answer using elimination. I just want to very quickly, I'm going to go back here for a moment and erase, because I wanted to remind you that many of you, when we did substitution, always chose to make your opposites right in front here, and you did this crisscross thing. You multiplied this equation by 3 and this equation by 2. That's the crisscross thing. And if you wanted to do that, you would need to make one of them negative, because without the negative, you would get 6x and positive 6x. You'd get 6x and 6x. Those are not opposites. We would need negative 6x. So make one of them negative. And then you would distribute in 3 places to both equations, so you would have 2 new equations. That method, if that's the one you like and you choose, will work. You'll get the same answers. The work will look different. But if you choose to use that method, go for it. I chose to just change one of the equations by multiplying by that -1. Okay, we did some word problems in Chapter 5. This says a movie theater sold tickets for a total of $3.20. Okay, $3.20, that looks like a total, so I think somewhere I'm going to have a $3.20. Adult tickets cost $10. I'm going to define my variables and say X is going to be for my adult tickets, and student tickets cost $8, and I'm going to say, I'm going to call student tickets $8. Write a system of equation to represent the situation and solve the system. So I know that a movie theater sold tickets for a total of $320. They sold 40 tickets. So the total of my tickets is 40. The total of the money collected is 320. So this equation should be all money, and this equation should be all tickets. So let's do the tickets first. What kind of tickets did we sell? We sold adult tickets and student tickets. So X plus Y would be adult tickets plus student tickets should equal 40. This equation is all tickets. Tickets, adult tickets plus student tickets equals 40 tickets total. This equation needs to be all money. So this needs to be the cost of adult tickets plus the cost of children's tickets equals 320. Well, it said that adult tickets cost $10 each. So that would be 10 times X. Adult tickets, we said, are X, and they're $10 each, plus 8 times Y, that is the cost of student tickets. Now we need to solve this for X and Y. This looks like a great setup for elimination. So I am going to do elimination on this one. This has a coefficient of 1. This has a coefficient of 10. So I am going to multiply this equation by -10. And if I want to do that, I need to make sure I multiply every part of the equation by -10. So that's going to make opposite coefficients right here on the X variable. So the first equation, I'm going to move over here, I'm just going to copy 10x plus 8y equals 320. The second equation is the one I've changed. -10 times x is -10x. There's my opposites. -10 times y is -10y equals -10 times 40 is -400. You got big numbers, but don't worry. All right, now it is a green light problem. We have opposites, so we can add down the columns. 10x minus 10x is 0, so the x variable was eliminated. 8 minus 10 is -2y. And 320 minus 400 is -80. If you needed to put that in your calculator, you should do that. To solve for y, divide both sides by -2, and we would get y equals 40. So that is how many student tickets they sold. So they sold 40 student tickets. Remember, a story problem requires a story answer, so you need units, or words, which in this case is student tickets. Now we need to figure out how many adult tickets they sold. We're running out of a little room. So y equals 40. I'm going to move right over here into the margin. Y equals 40. I can use either one of my equations to find x. I think I kind of want to use this equation because it's nice and simple. X plus y equals 40. Did we sell no adult tickets? If y equals 40, I would have x plus 40 equals 40. So I substituted in 40 for y. And if I minus 40 from both sides, I get x equals 0. So that means I sold 0 adult tickets. Interesting, but that is the way the problem was written. All right. check and see if that's what it says on the answer key. Oh, it doesn't. It says 20 and 20. Did I make a mistake somewhere? Let's check. 320. Adult tickets cost 10. Student tickets cost 8. So this is money, money, money. And they sold 40 tickets. Okay, that looks good. I multiplied this by 10. Negative 10. Negative 10y. Negative 400. 10 minus 8 is 2. 400 minus 320 is 80. 80 divided by 2 is 40. Yeah, so I'll tell you a little secret. I had AI write these problems for me, and AI often gets answers to math problems wrong, and in this case, it did. So keep the answer we have here and cross this answer off. Okay, I'm actually not going to put this one in the video. You will maybe practice this one on your own, or you are doing a Chapter 5 review following this video, so you can also practice a problem like that when you do that review.